It's the PointsBet Round 11 Sunday Roast. Celebrate winners, roast losers, best bets, the Blues are cheeks, the Swans are cheeks.
Jev, it's been a bloody tough year to support our sides. We suck. It was so bad. This round was actually pretty cheeks, but there was one awesome game. Thursday night, Cats and Dogs. Dope Thursday wins. Jebby Friday wins. It's an awesome roast. And also, if you hang around to the end, Jev, we have our very special edition of Guess the Lines.
Let's go. You know where to find us at 100k Sports, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram. Send this to someone that likes to see their team get roasted, basically. Let's go.
And now, 100k Sports and PointsBet presents the Sunday Roast.
Welcome back to the Sunday Roast, the show that celebrates the winners and roasts the losers, the show that gives you all the best odds of the bets you weren't on but wish you were. It is the Round 11 edition, powered by PointsBet. Joining me as always, Darcy Ballard. Dove, how are you, brother?
Jev, I'm good. That was awesome. It's a genuine tongue twister that you get that out every week, so I'm very proud of you. I'm glad that I don't have to say it. Jev, I'm going to say it on record. This round stinks. It's Sunday morning. We had a cracker on Thursday night, which we're going to get into. I've not been happy with this round. Like, I know the Blues lost, but you know, I like to think I'm a pretty good supporter. I'm like, I know when we're shit. And it's not because of that dictated my moods. These games have been cheeks. We sat together for 3 of them last night and we're just like, where's the cream?
Yeah.
Where's the cream for the boys? Not that many bets that we're hitting. It was a pretty shit round. But let's go to Thursday night, Jev. This was awesome. This honestly felt like a final at GMHBA. The fact that they don't actually get finals down there. The stats were the Geelong have won 16 of their last 18 home games against the Bulldogs. So a couple of those were at the MCG, but it just said home games. So whenever they had the home shorts on. But it was a little bit tough on the eyes because the Bulldogs actually had more white jerseys and Geelong actually had more blue jerseys. It looked like Bailey Smith was actually back playing for the Dogs. This game was awesome. I can't remember an absolute shootout like this at GMHBA for a long time. And it just goes to show we put it in. Yes, Dope Thursday did salute. But with Danger out, and it just goes to show what a back seat that he was willing to take this year to have Danger and have a different look up forward. I'm sure that they probably wanted to make Jez and push him out a little bit more towards finals because we know Chris Scott's in the premiership winning business. But the fact Danger went down and they're like, fuck it. All right, now we're just going to have to play through Jez again. He was unbelievable. I know that we said at the start of the week when you did the pyramid, it's like, I'll definitely regret leaving him out. But saying that, it's okay because we'll bet on him for goals. So that was a good win by you, Jev. But Shannon Neal, kick 5. There's so much to go into. So where do you want to lead with this game? Because we're going to go through so many different avenues.
Yeah, so this is the best game of the weekend. So let's, by an absolute mile so far. So let's, cook on it. So the Cats win by 14 points. They've kicked 20 goals, 7 for the game to us. It was 127 to 113, so 240 points have been kicked in this game. It was just goals, misses. It was just a banger. The Cats are 33 points up. The Dogs got it back to 3 points in the last quarter, then hit the post to hit the front. Yep. Just everything about this game. Bailey Smith against his old side. He's had 33 touches, 25 kicks with a bad shin. He wouldn't have played if it was the Dogs, he reckons. It was just theatre and it just lived up to expectation. The Dogs did nothing to Bailey Smith at the start of the game. Then by the end, him and Liver were wrestling. You couldn't take your eyes off this game. Everything about it was a banger. When Jez plays like that, he's the most watchable player in the game. 4 at half-time, he kicks them every way. Set shots, snaps. Yep. He gets out the back of Rory Lobb. He just outplays his defender. He's too smart. He reads the ball. Yeah, he's just so watchable. I can't believe I left him off my pyramid. He's like, there was 3 players I left off. I dropped Toby Greene. I regret the fuck out of that. Even though his form wasn't there, sometimes you got to have a gut feel of like, he's a top 21 player in the comp. Don't worry about the form. Drop Toby Greene, left Jez off, and now Heaney plays today. And I can tell you right now, I left him off. He's going to have another 38-3 game, and I'm going to look like an idiot again. But when he plays like that, and he's just a full forward, it is just a pleasure to watch. And then some of his kicking up the field. He was marking it about the center circle, and then just like a through ball. He hit Shannon Neal on one, and who'd he hit on the other? I think it was Ollie Henry, who just didn't even break stride, just got on the back of one and marked it.
Oh, no, it was Blitzars. Blitzars ran back and he was in a bucket. It was like a Russ Wilson moonshot.
Just 2 kicks, like 2 direct goal assists. Oh, I don't know if they went back and kicked them. 6 snags, 14 touches, 13 kicks. He's not wasting time handballing. That's like a perfect Jeremy Cameron GMHBA Thursday night game. I couldn't have loved it anymore.
Did you see? Yeah, so the over-under was 177. So that absolutely saluted.
So they're 10 goals off. There was an extra 10. There was 70 more points kicked. 11 goals off the over-under.
To be fair, I don't think that anyone would have really expected those many points. So let's get into quickly the Bailey Smith thing. So I've been thinking the last couple of days, I'm like, why didn't the Dogs get into him enough? Because it really annoyed me. I'm like, that would 100% be on their agenda. But I'm starting to think maybe this is Bevo, same thing, chestnut checkers. Don't do it now. If we meet him in the finals, that's when we go after him.
Yeah.
Like let's not try and put too much into him on tape. It's still home and away season. Let's just play. They almost turned a shoulder to him, didn't they? Like they didn't.
Yep.
They literally didn't do anything. So I'm thinking maybe if they see each other down the year, a little bit later when it actually matters, they all go after him and they really make it like heaps of niggles. So I just can't believe, you just don't let someone leave, have all this theatre around it and just don't put any work into him. You know what I mean?
No,
but they stood
agree.
next to him at stoppage and he did what he wanted. He actually did what he wanted.
I think they know he's a bit of
touches like that and then he was away.
Yeah, I think they know he's a bit of a hothead. Like he loves the emotion of the game and everything. I could see first final, like a prelim final, elimination final, the first final they play, Bont and Libba just start beating him up from the first bounce and it gets into his head and he starts doing stupid shit. I could see that happening. I love that call from you, Daz. Do you reckon the Dogs regret not letting their pick number 6 from the draft play more midfield time? Like they've drafted this kid at pick 6 and I know how good
Sanders.
No, Bailey Smith.
Bailey Smith. Yeah, sorry.
I know how good their midfield was and all this, and they like to have their young midfielders maybe do an apprenticeship at half forward and they'll eventually get in there. But every time Bailey Smith plays midfield, and he did it a couple of times for the Dogs when they had injuries, he's always been good at it. He had the self-belief that he was going to be this good, and the Dogs just seem to just leave him on a half-forward flank or a wing, and it's like, do you reckon they regret not giving him more midfield time now they're seeing what he's doing?
Yeah, well, probably. I guess the way their midfield was, though, it was so stagnant. They just had their guys. They're like, we all get touches, and it just moves really well. But there has to be something in now that, when you look at guys, if they ever have an ACL and it's just like, it used to be like, oh, no, he'll never be the same after it. So many players now are coming back, having a year off, getting in the gym.
Yeah.
They look bigger.
Will Ashcroft.
There's so many guys that are just have it. It's almost like you get your guns to go, have an ACL, have a year off footy, bulk them up, and then they come back fit as a fiddle because then they're actually having a year training block where they're not getting any wear and tear on the body. And they're just coming back Mickey Mouse. So
you can tell Bailey Smith has done the work. He looks fit as a fiddle. He runs on top of the ground. That's why, how much hope do you have for Jagger Smith next year?
Like
he's doing a year in the AFL building and like he's going to come back like he's a years ahead of these other draftees that just get beaten up the whole round.
But I still think like the Dogs around the edges, the way they do, like Ed Richards has stood up. So they obviously saw a heap of potential in him. And they still feel that they've got like Joel Frazier. So he's another one. They're like, all right, we really believe in him. And then you know what else you go do? Like you go pull in a Matt Kennedy that I would be bleeding for right now. He just finds himself in the greatest spots because Bevo actually allows him time in the midfield to wax through. Like he had so many center like stoppages and he's unbelievable to watch. So Matt Kennedy, I'm so happy for him.
Matt Kennedy, he's walked off the ground with 25 and 3. Ed Richards generally had the hard tag from Oyson Mullen. He's walked off with 28 and 2, probably given him a bit of a bath. His offensive football, Ed Richards, is out of this world. When he gets the ball, I heard Kingy talk about on 5 Ball Friday, he's the number 1 player in the comp at the moment for damage with ball in hand, where he wins it and what he does with it. It's unbelievable. And you were saying last night, his hair looks fake. It looks like a wig.
It's like he's got a rinse through it. It's the reddest red I've ever seen in my life. Oh, that video of him, how the Bulldogs asked him the question, who would you call after a game? He's like, call after a game? It's 10:30. What are you talking about? Like, he was filthy. He's got a bit of the tism, I reckon, Ed Richards.
we all
he
do.
just loves touches and snags.
We've
and
all
red
got
hair.
it. What about, I remember you, me and Morgs, we FaceTimed before the game about some bets we were going to put on, and we said, could it be a Shannon Neal legacy game, career game? And Morgs was like, oh, what's a career game for Shannon Neal? 3? And we're sort of like, yeah, probably 3. I feel sorry for the females of Geelong.
Jeff.
Shannon Neal, the cowboy, the wheelchairs, kicked 5. He's had 16 touches, 10 kicks. Oh, boy. Matt, where does he go? Lammies or something?
Yeah, wheelchairs for Shannon, wheelchairs for Neil. He was running around and doing what he wanted in that back half because all the attention went to Jez. And this is what we were hoping. We're like, he's the same size as Tom Hawkins weight-wise. It's like, we just need someone that can park the bus. He juked a couple, finally, Jev. He finally juked a couple, maybe watching some tape on Larry Fitzgerald or like Antonio Brown or something. He was watching something. The hands were just there because he's actually a beautiful finish. And if there was a few on the run. You know, when you watch the big guys, you get a little bit nervous, like, oh, no, he's going to blaze away. But no, straight through the big sticks. And you could tell all the women up in the stands, he started to point. He's like, you, and
wheelchair.
Apparently the check-in at the Geelong Hospital was out the door. Wheelchairs Neil was bringing him in and pushing him out.
Another one I can't help but notice. So, you know, Max Holmes feels like every touch he gets is damaging, but he usually walks off the field with sort of 21, 22 touches. There has to be, and I haven't done the work, whenever he has 25 plus, I reckon the Cats would be 100% win rate. You cannot let him have over 25 touches. He's so damaging, line breaking, quick on his feet. That goal he kicked, like,
wheels.
It was so good. He just got it, looked back, this is all good, and just took off, finished it. That was such a good, and he looked like he did it easy. Like, that's an all-time goal that could be showed for the rest of time of people that put AFL highlights together, and he did it with ease. That was an absolute banger, Das.
It was. All right. Is there anyone that you want to roast?
One last thing, one last positive. I heard Adam Simpson on the radio yesterday. He's like, the Dogs, about this loss, would not be worried in the slightest. They had 58 inside 50s for 33 scoring shots. So 16 goals, 17, that's 33 scoring shots for 58. So that's scoring 60% of your inside 50s. He's like, that number is off the charts. Like, off the charts. So instead of 16, 17, if they kick 20 goals, 13, he's like, yeah, if they're going to have basically 60 inside 50s for 33 scoring shots, he's like, they'll be fine with that. So I don't think you have to worry about the Dogs. I still think they're 100% playing in a prelim. They're so good. Sam Darcy's closer than we think. Ed Richards is in career best. Livers in career best. Bont's in career, well, not career best. He's just awesome. I still worry about their backline a little bit, but yeah, I'm fine. Maybe roast Rory Lobb a bit. He had no idea what he was doing on Jez Cameron, but you talked to me.
That's the matchup. The lobster got cooked. He got cooked. He had the garlic butter out and we had the charred grill out. He just didn't know where to play him. And Jez actually dropped a couple of marks. A few went in. Jez just bodied him. He's too quick on the ground. The Dogs almost need that slow build-up where Lob can decide whether to go to a contest and attack and intercept. When he had to play one-on-one with Jez has too many tricks. His bag is so deep. It's far too deep. So he didn't get the lick of the ice cream. Was it Bramble that tried to just pull out the Bailey Smith headband? No, who was it? For the Dogs. What's his name? There was
a couple of blokes for the Dogs that didn't meet the moment. Oh, who was it? In the last quarter, who hit the post twice? Was it Bailey? Lockie McNeil. Bont gave him a handball to hit the front. He had two, and then he dogged his second chance. So, like, McNeil.
Go.
You go. McNeil, Bailey Williams.
It was Oscar Baker. It looked like Morgs with a headband on. He was trying to be Bailey Smith again at the Dogs. Did you see him running around? Oscar Baker. I'm like, what are you doing, mate?
Yeah. I don't want to talk any shit about this game. It was a fucking banger.
It was. I'll get some odds.
Give us some odds.
So Cats and Dogs. So Jez for 6 was $15. Wheelchairs for Shannon. Sing it. Wheelchairs for Neil. Shannon Neal for 5 was 41. Aaron Norton for 3 was 375. Kennedy for 3 was $19. Buku Karmas for 2 was $3. Vandermeer for 2 was $475. Sean Manor for 2 was $215. Ed Richards for 2 was $550. Stengel for 2 was $240. Bailey Smith for 33 or for 30 plus was $2. Max Holmes for 30 plus was $750. Libba for 30 was $210. Richards was short $1.60 and Myers for 20 was $1.80. Those were the best odds that we weren't on, but we wish we were. So Matt Kennedy for 3 goals, $19. He just pops up.
He kicks 2 every week.
So this is what we want to do. So have these guys that have showed the ability to kick these goals, wait till they have a few weeks off, potentially. Yep. And then you look to just put it on, put a couple bucks, because look how hard it is to win a $19 multi. But if you've got these guys that can potentially put, like Connor McDonald yesterday, like guys that you know that can kick goals, if they haven't for a while, you're like, all right, let's maybe have a sprinkle on them. So that's where you make the jam.
And if you're ever having a $10 same game multi like we do, and your same game multi might be Matt Kennedy for a goal, Ollie Dempsey for a goal, Bont 20, Libba 20, you have to have $2 on Bont 25, Libba 25, Matt Kennedy 2, Ollie Dempsey 2. You get those like 80 to 1 odds. You put $2 on it, you'll hit one in the year when you just go over everything.
Yeah.
Next game, Das, dream time at the G. The Bombers win by 23 points. This wasn't the best game of footy. The Tigers had a crack. They ran out of gas. And the Bombers, how good are the Bombers when their mids just own the ball? They can absolutely cook you and put up some nice numbers. They've all had a lick of the ice cream today. Merritt 37, Martin 35, Archie Roberts 34, McGrath 31, Caldwell 29, Dersma 27, Durham 26, Perkins 24. They've all got a lick. They've all cashed in. This is when the Bombers are at their best, when they own a bit of ball, they own a bit of territory, they chip it around, they get to run wherever they want. This is the Bombers. I'm sure Bomber supporters love watching.
Yeah, it happens a couple times a year, doesn't it? When they're good, the Bombers, as you said, all of them get so many disposals. So Nick Martin started off the game. He set the tone, ran in, kicked the snag, got the ball moving really well. There were times that the Tigers were coming back. It was actually it was a good arm wrestle contest, as in score-wise. They were both able to score on each other. But it just watching it just lacks that high-end talent of a game. I know sometimes if two teams are at the same, so even if you have 17 versus 18, like North versus West Coast the other week, it was still a good game. North Melbourne Richmond was still a good game. This game just didn't excite me. But look, credit to the Bombers. They came through. They're 2 games ahead of Carlton where they are. But this is what they're doing at the moment. They're smashing the bad sides and just really struggling against the good sides. I'll let you touch on the new man, Wayne Carey, Angus Clark. He just came up. He was just working on the farm, shearing the sheep, baling up all the hay, and he just comes out and kicks 3 sausages like it's nothing. And then what'd you hear on the telecast? I was out at dinner. I was still watching, though, being very antisocial, just watching it while we're out at a nice restaurant. Was he saying that Hugo Ralsmith was having a good game? But I was watching as well. I was like, he's had 3 kicked on him.
So Gary Lyon, it sounded like all he wanted to – I know Essendon fans will agree with this. I don't know if Richmond fans will. All Gary Lyon wanted to talk about was the Tigers and how he's loving the Tigers and what they're doing. So their forward line was Luke Traynor, Jonty Fual, and Sam Laylor. So 3 first-year players they were playing as their key forwards, and they had no idea what they were doing. Samuel Laylor knows he's a big body, and he leads and cause havoc, but they had no idea when to come at the football, when to ask for it out the back or in a one-on-one contest. But Gaz kept being positive with Chief. And then Archie Roberts and Hugo Ralsmith were having just a good old-fashioned battle on the wing. You go one way, I'll go the other. And all Gaz kept talking about was, I'm loving Hugo Ralsmith's game. He's keeping the Tigers in this, all that. I'm like, yes, he was playing well when Richmond had the ball. But Angus Clark, a first game, has kicked 3 on him. He had 3 at halftime. He's kicked 3 on him. And it's like, playing on the wing goes both ways. So I just couldn't believe it. I was just a bit confused myself. I'm like, he's getting a bath by this first gamer. Good on Ralsmith when they get the ball. But yeah, this is just, you got to play both ways. You got to be accountable for your man. If if I'm Brad Scott, I'm going to Angus Clark after the game, like, good on you for what you did on Hugo Rollsmith. You absolutely bathed him. So, I don't know. I was a bit confused. I'm just like, he's getting a bath. He cannot have a first game and kick 3.
They just did the old Mason Wood and Blake Acres just shake hands and see each other at the end of the game. I just want to give some positive. Campbell Gray, number 50, plays in the back line. He's a good player. He's going to be good for them. He came out, took some nice intercept marks. This is a couple of weeks in a row now where he's come through and he's biting off some kicks out of the back line. So if anyone doesn't know, the 50 stands out. I've watched him through the last 3 Tigers games, and he looks good, Jev. So I'm really happy for him. Seth Campbell, my man, Jev, he just couldn't hit the scoreboard. I thought prime time, he was going to be Seth time, but he just didn't get near it. So
I'm sure Zach Merritt would have loved this game. They got him off the half-forward flank a bit more midfield, a fair bit of half back in the second half. Once they put the game to bed, they sort of put him back there. He probably stat padded a little bit, but it was good to see him get the ball back in his hands. Like, he's come off 19 and 20 touch weeks as a bit of a half forward. He was copping a bit of a tag. Now he got to free run at it. He gets the 37. It just shows how good he is. When he doesn't get tagged, he'll get 30 plus every single time. Yeah. The way he works, the way they give him the ball. When he does get tagged, it's more like 20. So he would have loved getting a bit of ball in his hand. 37 touches, 22 kicks. Nick Martin, I carried on like a pork chop when Isaac Heaney had 38 and 2 goals, 5 last week. Nick Martin's had 35 and 2. That's a pretty good game of football. Yes, it was a tiny bit of front running. It probably wasn't as damaging and contested as Heaney's was, but walking off any AFL field with 35 and 2, you would be absolutely wrapped.
Scrub, Urangford, bring, another Twangford.
This is what I want to ask you.
Twangford.
At Carlton, would you rather your key position players get injured or all your midfielders get injured? The Bombers over the last couple of weeks, so they lost Zach Reid. They've lost
Laverde.
Nah, he played the other one. Jordan Ridley.
Are you sure Laverde's not in?
So, yeah, they've lost Cole Langford, Zach Reid, Jordan Ridley. Their ruckmans, what's his name?
Oh, Draper.
They've lost them all in the last 6 weeks, all their key position players, but every single midfielder's fit and ready to go except for Darcy Parish, who I'm not sure is on their list anymore.
I don't think he's alive.
But then it's so you've got your midfielders, but you don't have your key position players. But would you rather have all your key position players, but you can't win the ball? It's not an even balance of injuries. They're just losing key players. Langford's done his quad now, so he's come back from a hammy, played a couple of weeks. Now he's got a quad. Oh, he must have done too much hammies. He's overloaded. Too many, what's it called? Nordics or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Now his quad's gone.
You really feel for him. I want Isaac Kako to start kicking a few more snaps. I don't know what they need to do. He's going to be their igniter. If he kicks a couple of goals, the Bombers are there, they're screaming out for that sort of player. He wasn't able to hit the scoreboard. Gresham didn't kick a goal. I know Hobbs is sort of playing a bit all over the shop, but you want a few more of these guys to actually be able to hit the scoreboard because that's when the Bombers fans are going to erupt. And it's weird. I think Brad Scott said it the other way. He's like, there's something about when we play at Marvel, their fans are so much louder. I know it's a smaller stadium, but it looks like they really show out and they do play some of their best footy there. Obviously, take out the Bulldogs game the other week. But, yeah, they really need to make that a fortress, and these guys just need to hit the scoreboard a little bit more. As you said, their mids predominantly are doing their job. Ben Mackay, they're trying to hold up down back as best as they can. But to answer your question, almost think that the way the game's going, you almost want your midfield. You'd rather the midfielders rather than the keys. You can almost just finagle a win with pace and smalls and pressure and
Kicking
ball movement as opposed to trying to just kick it high and intercept. Obviously, you'd love your key posts, but yeah. So what under the Bombers? Do you have any odds in this one?
Oh, just one last one. Is the Bombers forward line a place for small forwards to go and die? So do they just look at
the graveyard?
Elwyn Davey Jr. lasted, 12 games. We haven't seen him again. He just didn't get to be a small forward. And now do they just look at smalls as you just go and put pressure on and then you come back and crumb? Whereas should it be Kako and Caddy 2 out in the 50 and Kako gets as many one-on-one chances as Caddy does, and they give him a chance to cook and be a small forward like they do Nick Watson, a small full forward rather than just a small. Because I'm watching it, I'm like, where's his opportunity to become Nick Watson? Like, where's his isolation plays? Or is he not that guy sort of thing? But I can't think of the last great small forward for the Bombers. I can't think of one.
Damien Cupido, Dean Rioli.
Yeah, going back to when they won a final. I would love to know from the Bombers.
Angus Monfries.
Bag them.
Angus
Monfries. I don't see
is a good
small
one.
forwards as a position of need in a way, and a position of like, let this guy cook. Do they just see him as pressure players that go up the field, put pressure on, they're allowed to come back and crumb? So, yeah, I want to see Isaac Kako get some chances to cook a little, and he just doesn't get those chances.
Any odds?
Yes, I got some odds. Let's talk. Some good money in this game. So Angus Clark in his debut was 81-1 for 3.
Go you.
Only his family would have been on that. Hugo Ralphsmith for 2 was $13. Nick Martin for 2 was $4.50. Sammy Laylor for 2 was $3.10. And Tim Tarano for 2 was $9.50.
Nice.
Zach Merritt for 35 was $4.75. Nick Martin for 35 was $12.
Yeah.
54 for Nick Martin's game. So 35 and 2, you would have got 54-1. Archie Roberts was $5.50 for 30. Andrew McGrath was $8 for 30. So, you know, like we know when the Bombers play a shit team, they get the footy. So you're getting $8 for McGrath 30, $5.50 for Roberts 30, $12 for Martin 35. Like you could have predicted some of this stuff to us.
Roberts gets the ball. You know he had 17 at halftime against the Dogs.
Yeah,
I think
he
he finished
gets
with
it.
29, but he finds the pill.
So Jai Caldwell was $2.15 for 25 in his first game back. That's good value. Sam Banks was $2.80 for 25. Dersma was $4.25 for 25, and Sam Durham was $2.40 for 25. Das, tell me about, he plays for Richmond. His name is Caleb Smith. Tell me about Caleb Smith. He had 21 touches. He was $7 for 20. He's played one career game. He had 3 last week, and now he's had 21. So only his family would have been on him for 20. Because I was looking at the odds, I'm like, who the hell is Caleb Smith? So I'm happy for him.
He didn't play the other day. I'm looking at his photo. He didn't play.
He must have come on as the sub. But I'm
Looks
happy for him.
Looks a bit like Jesus.
All right, let's move on because I'm excited about this game. The Giants and Toby Greene's 250th beat the Blues at breakfast time by 28 points down. I just want to let you cook. You just cook. Go for it.
All right, let's where do we start? So do we start with Jesse Motlop?
Yep.
All right, let's start with Jesse. So we'll start with a bit of a roast. So he has to get dropped next week. And if you don't watch Carlton games, I'm not being a hater. I hope he's a great person. I really do. He's not at AFL standard. When I go watch my team every week and I want them to go win games, I want someone that's going to perform. I don't remember the last time he's gone out and had a genuine performance, Jeff. He was coming in, having a set shot, and Lee Montagna, all right? You know, he tried to reel off some stats. He tried and pump him up. Yeah, he's kicked 1 goal in the last 4 weeks, and he's averaged 6 touches a game over his last 4. Wowee. Jesus Christ. I think he's averaged 2 tackles as well a game. Like, he doesn't use the ball well. He's not efficient. He's not a score involvement player. He turns the ball over all the time. He just shirks contests, doesn't get to the right positions, and just butchers the ball. So he has to go out of the side. I don't care who's next in the line. Play Ben Camperelli, play Lucas, play Billy Wilson, play some kids. I don't care. Play someone. He has to go back in the 2s and start to have some sort of stats like whatever the Wiz would do, or Isaiah Dudley's coming out and kicking 2 goals a game. Like, go back to the 2s, and I want you to kick 2 goals for 4 weeks in a row. Look what Jack Higgins is doing.
Yep.
Look what Jack Higgins is doing. He's kicked 28 goals. I don't think Motlop's kicked 28 goals over 3 years. I'm genuinely serious. Like,
Yeah,
you have to have more impact as a player. And the fact that you always continually get these opportunities, enough's enough. Like, you have to shake the tree a little bit. I thought Chera started to move the ball a little bit well. George Hewitt was so quiet. Sam Walsh was trying to work his way into it. McGovern, the experiment wasn't working, so then they put him forward. He looked completely out of it. Harry was playing midfield. He was playing ruck a little bit more. But when you look at the numbers, like our entries inside forward 50, like we had so many of them. But again, we just lose the battle. We're so predictable when we come into the forward line. Charlie Curnow, I think we've been saying it. I know you've got a fun little take on it. It's not even a take. It's just genuinely true. But if you didn't watch the game, you look again, you're like, Charlie's had 3 goals, 12 touches. Oh, he's had another Charlie game. But then non-sided for so much of the game. Oh, there's so many players I can roast. I'm just like, they're just not there. If Lewis Young's in the side, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
We're never winning a big game with Lewis Young in the side. Unfortunately, he's just not there. Haynes was okay. Carroll, I think, was all right in his first, his last couple of games. He's not a bad left footer. Harry O'Farrell, here's one, Jev. You probably didn't know this. He actually played pretty well yesterday. So he was number 22. Yep. Do you know who his dad is?
No.
So he got picked up, I think, last year the year before, pick 40. His dad is Carlton's lawyer.
The one that gets everyone off.
Yep.
If I get Cripps off and win this Brownlow, you have to draft my son.
How good's that?
Has to be.
His old man is the one that gets everyone off. So he was actually all right. I thought he competed pretty well, but I'll let you have a bit of a roast and then we'll get into the Giants and let's give Toby some love because he was unbelievable. Darcy Jones in the midfield, that is where I want to see him play a lot more. His one-touch pickups and distribution of the ball, and he's just able to sit in tight. You remember when Silrioli kicked that goal? I think it was goal of the year. He got it, went forward, stepped back, and then sidestep. That's what Darcy Jones does in a contest.
Yeah.
He's so fleet-footed. But yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so Cooper Lord, I liked us. I definitely there's something there. Jacob Wiedering played his worst game for the club, I think.
Ever.
He had a shocker. Absolute shocker. And Jesse Hogan wasn't playing that well, but he just had a shocker. Charlie Curnow he goes absolutely missing for quarters at a time. Like fourth quarter, went missing. Even second half just went missing. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway. Doherty was good. You and me spoke about this last night. I think if you put pen to paper and wrote down every small forward in an order I think Jesse Motlop is dead set last in the AFL of the worst small forward in the competition. And it's not even close. Just say there's 2 aside. What's that? There's 18 teams, 36.
Give me Seth Campbell.
Yeah.
Give me Seth Campbell.
Yeah. Ryan Mansell, you'd take over Jesse Motlop.
Yes.
All of them. Every single one of them. Corey Warner, Caden Cleary. They just do a little bit more for their side. And they're not great. So it's tough. Who else are going to roast? Not necessarily a roast, but just remember last year, win or loss, Pat Cripps would try and decide the result in the fourth quarter. He would go, right, if we're winning or losing this, it's on me. And you'd see 13 possessions, 1 goal in the fourth quarter. He can't do that anymore. And I don't know if he had surgery in the off-season or he had a banged-up, interrupted preseason, but he just looks, I don't know if it's a little heavier or a smidge slower or a bit sorer. He's just not doing it in the fourth quarter. He's always starting games well. I think he had 2 at halftime or 1 at halftime against the Giants, and he had 2 at halftime against the Swans the week before. He's always starting well, but he can't do it in the fourth quarter anymore. I don't know if Carlton supporters are noticing that as well.
Yeah, he definitely had the matchup. I thought he smashed Bedford. Every time he was one-on-one, they got the ball to him. Bedford only tackled him once holding the ball. But yeah, Cripps smashed. That definitely wasn't the matchup. Whether Tom Green, where he usually plays pretty well on him, or Bedford, they just had to get the ball to him so much more.
Yeah.
But you could tell he's a player that's trying to get things moving a little bit more. He had the ball on the boundary, took a bounce, and just kicked a nothing kick to the top of the goal square where they had 2-on-1. Lee Kalir played awesome as well. But he had Ollie Hollands on in the middle. But it's just everyone, when you're playing shit and you try and do too much and you try and make yourself look better as opposed to maybe just doing the team things, that's where we are. Everyone's trying to do a little bit too much to fill their own boots to make their tape maybe look a little bit better. Yep. It's he's at the team nah, fuck it, I'm going to bite one off from 50 here and see if I can kick it. Nah. Then they go end to end. So we're just playing shit team footy. But
yeah, Toby and the last one I want to roast. I know you and Morg hate this take. And a lot of people hate it. Some might agree. I don't see any difference between Harry Mackay and Joel Amati. I think they're the same player. I was watching Harry Mackay yesterday, and the reason I say this, he looks borderline uncompetitive at times.
He is.
Yesterday, just because we had him for 2 in a multi, so you're watching him. You know, if you got someone in a multi, you're just looking at him. You're like, righto, is there a chance he kicks a goal here? He was uncompetitively bad yesterday. And I'm watching, I'm like, you've got all the talent in the world. You are what he is the best in the competition at is a bailout kick down the wing, high, long. He's the best in the league at marking that. But you take that away from him, which Jack Buckley sort of did yesterday. I think he only had 1 or 2. He was so bad yesterday. Didn't look like getting near the footy. And it was just unbelievably frustrating. And I don't want to be too mean, but geez, it was bad yesterday.
Before we get on to the next topic, so I don't want to bash Voss here because I definitely think the way that our entries and we missed a lot of opportunities. And I think a lot of our errors are on our players. Jacob Wiedering gave away 5 free kicks. He didn't rush the ball. Just shots going inside 50, just stupid shit. So I definitely think that's on the players. But there's 2 things, Jev. Don't get beaten by what you know. So last week against the Swans, don't let Chad and don't let Heaney get off the chain and do what they want. That is number 1. Yeah. Number 2, on the board with no Finn Callaghan in the side, it's Toby Greene's 250th. Yeah. Do not let him start well. That should be the only thing. I know that. You know that. Australia knows that. The roast listeners know that. And what don't you do? You don't put anyone to Toby and you just let him dictate the game at the start. He was white hot at the start. Had a few touches, missed 2 early and then finally kicked 1. He went a little bit down in the middle part of the game. That's only compared to how he started. And then he just finished the game. He got Sard out the back 3 or 4 times. He's getting injected in plays like marking, tackling, pressure play. And you can see how much it means. So he kicked the goals and he loves it. He gets the team firing. And this is a great win by the Giants. Toby Greene was fucking unbelievable.
No, this is an all-time win. So the Shark said in one of our group chats, Toby Greene had the best 250th ever. You think they've rocked up with no Finn Callaghan. They felt like they've still got no Kelly, Cornelio, all these guys in. So they felt like they were a midfielder short. So Toby in his 250th at midday on a Saturday, all his family and friends are up in the stands. He goes, righto, I'll start on the ball. I'll help the midfielders. And then I'll drift forward. He's walked off with 28 and 3 goals, 3. And just the difference between winning or losing. And that's why people say when he's at his best, he's the best footballer in the comp. I know I say that. His best football, he's the best pure footballer in the comp. For him to just go to the mid, have his 28, a midfielder's day, but then kick 3-3 as a forward. Yeah, Crazy. He just decided we're winning today and he just got them over the line. Did in the first half and then he made sure of it in the 4th quarter. He was just unbelievable. He's such a good footballer. I know he's a bit banged up as well. He's got a bung ankle. He's just nah, we're winning today. I don't care.
So my take is George Hewitt. So he had a quiet one. It's because he had his F45 session so early in the morning.
Yeah, so true.
So he only had his 17 because he would work like a dog in that. So I got some odds. So we'll go through. Hogan for 4 was $3.75. Curnow for 3 was $2. Toby Greene for 3 was $3.75. Callum Brown for 3 was $8. Riccardi for 3 was $8. Fogarty for 2 was $5.50. Cadman for 2 was $2.15. Kieran Briggs for the soccer goal was $3.50. He gave De Koning a bath just quietly.
He really did, didn't he?
Fogarty, I know he had the 17, De Koning, but he had no impact on the game at all. Doherty for a snag was $2.50. Cooper Lord for 1 was $2.10. Chera for 1 was $3.40. And then the touches, Doherty for 30, which was most on the ground, was $14. Lockie Ash does every week at $1.30. Toby Greene had 28, Jev. So over 25 was $6.50. And then Whitfield, Walsh, Cripps, and Toby Greene were all the dollars mark, $1.20 mark for their 25.
What was Toby Greene for 25?
$6.50.
That's so nice. I'll tell you who have good roles in AFL. Jake Riccardi, Callum Brown, and Aaron Cadman have good roles in that side. Because everyone knows Jesse Hogan's the man, and then everyone knows Toby Greene's the man down there. And those three, like they've got to kick their goals, obviously. They've got to have impact. But, geez, they get some good one-on-one isolation. Yesterday, Callum Brown started hot. Cadman finished hot. Jake Riccardi was sort of good in the middle quarters. They all get their little lick at the ice cream. They all get their chance. They took it. Before we quickly move on as well, as you were speaking about Darcy Jones, him and Harvey Thomas yesterday were good. They're the igniters. You think they've still got Brent Daniels to come back in that side? Darcy Jones yesterday, when he gets his first possession at halfback, and then gets involved in the chain, and he might get it back in the handball. Then Harvey Thomas gets involved, and they spread through the middle, and they're kicking goals from halfback. Geez, they can ignite a game. They look good, leg speed, everything.
I want to see Darcy Jones as, in the next 2 or 3 years, as an All-Australian utility. Like, he's just on your bench. Like, I want to see that he's got enough tricks, whether he can go to centre stoppages and then half forward and then play deep. Like, just enough that he can just dominate a game in a few different ways, but you can't really put him in the midfield, a wing, or like a forward, but he's just on the bench. Like, maybe imagine that for like a few years, and he's up there in the Blazer with the helmet on. But Darcy Jones, he's dead set All-Australian as a utility. He's that good. We better move on because we've got so much to get through. And
I loved this game. This just looked like grand final day, basically. The Lions just absolutely dominating another team. They did it to the Swans on the MCG. They're winning the football. Everyone's kicking goals. Their smalls are having a feast. This looked exactly like grand final day. It would have looked like grand final day if the Hawks somehow out of their ass made grand final day. They dog walked the Hawks. I low-key loved it. Talk to me, Das.
No, you did. It was a good battle at the start, and then it was just that second quarter. The Brisbane Lions, we were talking about how Charlie Cameron, he's pissing us off this year. We like him. We've met him. He's a good man. But I'm just talking gambling because this is what we talk about. And I'm like, he just can't hit the scoreboard. He's doing our head in. When you look at the board, you're like, who's actually going to kick him for the Lions? He kicked 3 goals in 3 minutes, and you're just like, oh, my God. Like, what confidence does to someone, it must be like when Steph's shooting threes and you just can't miss. It's just like, every spot.
Keep getting it down here.
It's one touch. That third goal he kicked was on his left foot, running towards the outside, and he just hit it so perfectly. Like, it split the middle from 45, and he just knew it. So they were off. Levi Ashcroft has just the poise of a 250 gamer. What's his name? McCluggage kicked one back inside, and he looked like any player would have tried to blaze away and try and kick one over the defender. He sold some candy, shook someone out of their boots. I can't remember who it was, probably Weddle or something, and then straightened up and just kicked the goal in his left. Will Ashcroft's able to run around and do what he wants. You can tell that he's doing his apprenticeship with Lachie Neale. Like, I know that he's already had those traits, but just having someone that, like, how many touches is Lachie Neale? It's like 1,000 touches a day or something. Like, he just has to get his handballs in, his ground balls in, and that's what they do inside. And this is what I've wanted to see for a few weeks. I know that they lost and then they drew with North, but I wanted to see them on a big stage again because they've sort of been buried on these Sunday games. They've just reassured me that they're a top 3 team in the comp, if not top 2, 100%. And it's going to be so hard to beat them. And now that they know how to win on the G, they know how to play the G, they're fucking scary. Their backline as well, Leicester, Harris Andrews, all these guys had, again, unbelievable games, and I don't know why they didn't tag Harris Andrews. Last week, Melbourne put, Melksham to him, and they just took him out of the game.
Yep.
They had to do...
Ginnivan had to do that yesterday.
Well, they just had to put someone on him as... Like, why don't you put Sicily forward in that matter so you can play a defensive role?
Play on Harris Andrews. Yeah, I love that.
Push him up the ground. Get him away from contest.
Yeah, I love that.
You're out of form, so don't kick the ball to you and get him away from it because he's going to be your biggest aerial threat coming in, and then that way it stretches the field and you can actually bring it into your smalls. McDonald, Moore, Wiz, because they got no purchase. And look, I love the Wiz, and obviously I'll always ladder him for the rest of my life for snags. Few entries in the first half, but apart from that, it was horrible ball movement. The ball's coming in long, and you can't expect someone at 5'5" to be contesting in the air so much. So their ball movement from D50 forward was just out the window yesterday. Brisbane played an awesome game plan, and there was pressure on the ball the entire time. So the Hawks just got throttled at the throat the entire game.
Jackson Payne made Jack Gunston look 84 years old. He
did.
gave him an absolute bath yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
Noah Answorth gave Nick Watson an absolute bath yesterday. He's walked off with 4 touches, Nick Watson, 0 goals, 0 impact. This is the only part of my take of you don't draft a small forward at pick 5, and I know how good Nick Watson is, and I've already conceded I'm wrong on how good he is. But like he's your pick 5, he's your thing, and then you have that sort of game where you have 4 touches, like 0 impact. The James, hindsight's a wonderful thing. You saying James Sicily to Harris Andrews, that feels like a layup. Like that feels like you just had to do that because it's starting to get to the territory where he nearly has to go back to the 2s, James Sicily. I'm not being a dog here or it is embarrassing at the moment. He is costing them games and costing them goals where he doesn't defend and then doesn't bust his ass to try and have a second effort and lay a tackle. And guys just walk into open goals when they play on James Sicily. It is so easy to play on him right now. I don't know if he was on Archie yesterday or whoever he's on, but or was it Logan Morris? I don't know who it was, but they all had a lick of the ice cream on him. He is nearly going back to the 2s territory. I wonder if Hawks fans will agree with me on that.
The second quarter and the third quarter, they got dominated at centre stoppage. They could not get a centre clearance. And then as soon as the ball went inside D50, they could not defend anything. Barras pulled out of one contest. Battle was still pretty good, but these guys just aren't flying like they were. And look, this is what the AFL footy season is. We're obviously overreacting to it because that's what we do every week. But every team has this every year. You play a few good games, a few bad games. You start to build back up, and that's just the way the season goes. But how they went yesterday was just horrible. So, that's why you think they need to go so hard at whoever the best midfielder is possible to get another A grade with Will Day, because as you said, I'll let you finish it, but their team is just a lot of really good players, but they need 1 or 2 to get them over the top. And last year, and we said, surely a player can't have that much of an impact on a side. They were 0-5 and looked completely different when Will Day's in the side.
Yep.
He plays at the start of the year where he's on Brownlow watch.
Yep.
His impact and he stretches every team because you have to watch him with your eyeballs at every single second that he's on the field, and they're out and they're just missing one. And I know it's only one play, but that's how good he is. I've seen enough of Will Day when he's in the side to how important he is to this side.
And our Hawthorn mate Cole was talking about it last night. Remember Hawthorn were up to their eyeballs on Bailey Smith last year? And then I think they just felt like he was going to Geelong, so they pulled out. He would be absolutely perfect for the Hawks right now. They are an A grade short. They should be all in on Zach Butters next year. If they can add, because I think Newcomb's a 2. He's not a 1. So they need Will Day. They need Zach Butters. Newcomb to be a 2-3. Warple can go in that case. What's happening with Dylan Moore? Yeah, they put 17 B graders on the field. They need an A+ grade and they don't have it. Das, I can't wait to have the conversation in the offseason. Started it this offseason. I don't think at the end of this year we'll be able to name 10 midfielders you would rather going into next year than Will Ashcroft. He is...
Go 7.
Yeah,
Make it
probably
less.
7 midfielders you'd rather than him. He is going to be so good. And our Hawks supporter mate Cole said when you watch him live, and I saw a grand final day last year, he was just live dominating. And then yesterday, at the ground, the big long lion mullet he just dominates. Geez, it was nice to see the Hawks lose like that. How cold is everyone going to start going on the Hawks? I'm all out on them. I don't think they're as good as about 4 teams, so I don't think they're going to be playing in a prelim. I think I booked them in a prelim, so that's how much I overreact on the roast. I'm like a roller coaster. You got some odds for us, Das?
Yeah, I do. Obviously, we don't want to roast this bloke, Jev, but you came out and said you'd rather him than almost any other small forward in the comp for the next 5 years. Kyle Oman's had 24 disposals for the season, hasn't kicked a snag, hasn't finished a game. I think yesterday was the first one. Oh, he's just got to back to the drawing board for old Kyle Oman.
Yeah, I think it'll come, though.
It will.
He's just had an interrupted season. He'll have a game soon. He'll probably be against the Swans if we play him again. He'll kick 6 again. But you're right. He is not getting the ball. How many touches? What did he do yesterday?
I think he had 12 touches and a
12
point.
touches. So he had 24 going into the game, and it was round 11. So now he's had 12 yesterday. So 0 goals, 1. He'll get going. It's been a tough year for him, though.
Calamar for 4 snags was $19. Connor
That's
McDonald
nice.
kicked 3 in the first half. He's a gun. 3 goals was $13. Charlie Cameron kicked 3 in 5 minutes was $5.50. Cam Rayner for 2 was $3.50. Logan Morris, who I really like, for 2 goals was $2. Levi Ashcroft for a goal was $2. Connor Nash for a snag was $3. And then for the disposal, Zorko had 33 was $2.80. Neil for 32 was $2.40. Carl Amon for 25 was $2.15. Morrison for 25 was $6. And then Will Ashcroft was $1.50 for 25. And Battle for 20 was $1.85, which is not a bad little filler. But there was something else I wanted to say on this game, but I can't. Oh, yeah. Just quick before we move on, because we are really dragging out. Jack Ginnivan, obviously still holding on to that injury. He's just not having the impact
He looks so
that he was
slow.
last year. But also, Dylan Moore, I think we said it a few weeks. I went to go get before my brain surgery, I went to go get another scan, and Dylan Moore was in there, where you go and get, like, it's literally just X-rays and MRIs, and I saw him in there. I was like, I saw Moore in there. And then ever since then, I don't think he's had a good, like, he's not running well.
This was like round 4, round 3, you got this scan.
Yeah.
He has not played well once since that. Since you saw him get a scan, I don't know if he's got a bung foot, a bung ankle, a sore knee. I don't know. He has not played one good game since. And Jack Ginnivan looks so slow. Let's move on to Saturday night. These 2 games sucked. North Melbourne have just not learned you need to tag Nick Dacos. And yes, they had a bit of Tom Powell, a little bit of George Wardlaw sort of play on him. You got to do it for 4 quarters. They were in this game up to their eyeballs. All they had to do was keep tagging Nick Dacos. He's walked off with 38 touches. He's had 11 in the third quarter, 17 in the last. He's had 28 touches in the second half. You've kept him to 10 at halftime. You were in the game up to your eyeballs. What was the margin at halftime? They were winning by 15 points. They were in front by 15 points or something at halftime. You've kept Nick Dacos to 10. Surely you go in at halftime, you go, boys, let's just keep on him. If Tom Powell, if you're tired, tell Jai Simpkin. Jai Simpkin, if you're tired, tell George Wardlaw. It's going to take a team to keep this bloke to under 20 touches. Let's do it. Then he's had 28 second half touches and you've got blown out by 45 points. That is embarrassing. I'm sorry. We watched this game. The game was shit. Jamie Elliott took over. Nick Dacos did what he wanted in the second half. Ned Long was really good. Isaac Quainer had one of the worst games I've ever seen. Paul Curtis was awesome. He just didn't really hit the scoreboard. He was this close to having about a 25-touch, 4-goal, 5-goal game. Just didn't hit the scoreboard. Billy Frampton takes another soul. We've got to start talking about Billy Frampton as an all-Australian centre-half-back. He is taking scalp after scalp after scalp. It is really impressive. Oh, this did my head in, Das.
Yeah, if you're a North fan, you just absolutely shattered. As I said, it was just a shit game. And don't get beaten by what you know. I want surely someone in that building, like how much so Finn McGuinness, we know him because of the job that he did on Nick Dacos.
Yes.
If you get cooked by Nick, I don't think it's that bad. Like, you're just like, I got Nick Dacos.
Yes.
But if you get the opportunity to do the job on him once in your career, you're an all-time. Like, you will be remembered. You can hang your hat on that. I just don't know why more players don't want that title. Like, imagine for beers for the rest of your life. And you just go, I blanketed Nick Dacos.
I've got the perfect example for you. You think, and I know you think this, that Toby Bedford is a myth tagger. But why everyone in the league thinks he's a gun tagger is because he's gotten Nick Dacos a couple of times.
That's it.
You think he gets a bath every week?
I do.
Yeah.
I genuinely do. But, like, just don't understand. Why wouldn't you want that scalp? Like, why wouldn't you just want to just put yourself on him? And when I watch the Pies, like, Pies fans let us know, I actually don't think that they do that much to protect him or give him avenues. They might secretly, but you look at what Chris Judd used to do. He had Daniel Chick, Kerr,
Bodyguards.
all these big guys around him that would legit just be like, go for it, young fella. Like, Judd got looked after, him and Cousins on the inside. Stengline would run through. They just had a million big bodies. Like, it just looks like Nick just turns it to another level and just uses his pace.
To be fair, if you ever see this midfield, and they were doing it at the end of the game, the midfield of Harry Perryman, Ned Long, and Nick Dacos, I think you know who the ball's going to and who the two bodyguards are. Just so frustrating. Das, I'll tell you who's getting in the Myth All-Australian watch. There's two from this game. They can join James Sicily and Dylan Moore in Myths.
Is it
Harry
Larky?
Sheasel and Dan Houston.
And Larky.
Dan Houston's had 12 touches.
Yeah. Can you imagine if they had John Noble?
Yeah. Sorry,
Global
Dan Houston ended up with his 15. Well, we might have won a multi. I have to go check. No, we didn't. But yeah, he's had 15. Harry Sheasel's had 20 on the dot. Like, what's going on with these two? People had I know, like, we've brought the conversation up, the Harry Sheasel, Nick Dacos conversation of, like, compare the two. If Harry Sheasel played for Collingwood and Dacos played for North, that conversation's out the window this year. Nick Dacos is about 3 tiers a better player than Harry Sheasel.
He's so good. All right, let's get into some odds because this game was cheeks. Elliot.
We've got to give love to Jamie Elliott. Yeah, he is the forward pocket next to Jack Higgins right now in the All-Australian team. Yeah, 2 bags of 5 and a bag of 6 on the season. Like, he's playing better than Charlie Curnow.
When he plays, he's playing with form now that, like Tiger Woods, every time you step up to the ball, you just know you're going to crush it straight down the fairway. Like, he's getting to the spots, he's marking everything, his finishing's awesome, and he knows, like, if you're a small in that side, gravitate to him because he will go down as an absolute Collingwood legend. Like, he's had unbelievable goals after the siren, big hangers,
marks of the year,
premiership player. I can already see, like, when he was getting interviewed after the game, like, when they bring players back in 20 years' time, 30 years' time for the premiership reunion, and you just look at him, you're like, he was a Collingwood legend.
Legend, 100%. He's going to go down. And I know I had the Kako conversation. Isaac Kako needs to take tape of Jamie Elliott to Brad Scott and go, can I have a quarter playing like this guy does? I know Kako's not anywhere near as good as Jamie Elliott, but Essendon need to give him a chance to play like that because he is a great small full forward. They can't match him up. Give me some odds.
Yeah, so Jamie Allen for 5 was $9. Membry for 3 was $3.20. Zerha for 3 was $5.50. Dacos for 38 disposal for 35 was $4.25. Josh Dacos for 30 was $2.30. Caleb Daniels for 30 was $6 with no impact. Ned Longarms for 29. So for 25 was $5.50. Hardiman, Jev? Riley Hardiman for 25
he was all right.
Was $34. And Tom Power for 25 was $3.75. So there wasn't a heap of odds in this game. But that was cheeks. Like, as I said, it's cheeks round. Let's hope Sunday's a good slate. Let's get on to the final game, Jev. So
talk about cheeks. It was raining cats and goddamn dogs.
Oh.
I've seen a team put the towel in, punch their ticket, do their 8 hours, go home, have no care about what they're doing at all. Port Adelaide do not give a fuck. They are checked out and it's round 11.
They're ordering their drinks already at the poolside bar in Bali. Yeah.
Jack Butters has got the list for the day they're allowed to leave after their BNF. Their Finns footy trip is booked. They've worked out the bottles of Grey Goose they're getting, the amount of Bingtangs, whatever Jason on Francis drinks, the Smirnoff ices, and that is booked. They've punched their ticket. They've asked Ken if he wants to come. Do you want to come, Ken, have a drink with us? This is just so bad. They are so bad.
To allow 100 points, 15 goals, 10. Because you kick 16-4, but 15 goals, 10 in the wet. Zerk Thatcher back in the side. That's a no-no. So they just got on top in the second half. And they just ran them off their legs. Sarong was quiet to start off with, finished with 12 clearances and got his hands on a lot more. But they just bullied them. And they moved the ball actually really well towards the back end of the game. Yep. And you could tell there was like 15 minutes to go, and Port were just manning the mark.
Yeah.
They were just done. Like, it was so – I was sitting there watching after you guys left, and I'm just like, this sucks. Like, this broadcast, like the commentator, Matt Papalia, honestly, credit to him that he always has to do those Perth sides.
Yeah,
Scully was sitting in the rain. He was he was soaked. And my man Jeff Farmer, I work with the Wiz, he was doing an interview at halftime about the jumper, and Pav just wrapped him up,
just cut him off.
He's like, Jeff, we're gonna go to a break. See ya. So what?
Oh God, yeah, I hear that. So but this is the Freo we expected with all the talent, forward of the ball, the good backman. When when average sides come to town, you beat them by 50 points, you get out. They did it to the Crows. They've done it to Port now. I'm starting to see the Freo team we expected for the year. The team we guaranteed would win over 12 and a half games. So super happy for Freo. Geez, in the group chat, I was happy to bag Caleb Sarong at halftime when he was on 6 touches at the half. He ended up with 29. So I'm happy for him in that way. So yeah,
you're happy for any pyramid player to step up.
Andrew Brayshaw had his quiet one, but it doesn't matter. They've got the talent to cover it. We saw Switkowski playing well. Isaiah Dudley did a good job. Wagner, Matthew Johnson, some of the no-names stepped up. Treacy had a shocker. Patrick Voss came to the floor. I misplayed a better game, so I'm happy for Freo.
You know, I talk about, so when I went through the preseason and I only looked at a few kids and I looked at a few of their tape. Yep. One of them was Murphy Reid.
Yep.
And go back and watch on YouTube. And I was watching, and then we discussed, I was like, he looks like he's just got tricks. He's poised like Pendlebury, but he's not afraid to, not out of being scared in a contest, he'll give a little dinky one across the ground to a teammate. He's so clever with his ball use, ball movement. We saw it round 1 where he kicked 4 against Geelong, and you're like, this kid's got tricks. His entry inside 50 is elite. He's top 3 kid in the draft.
Yeah.
Like Levi Ashcroft, Laylor, and then you pick Murphy Reid. Like, he's a Victorian kid. I just don't know how Victorian sides overlooked him.
Yep.
He's a freak.
I hear
He's so good. Like, he's going to play 250 games in the AFL. He's going to hit some game winners. Yep. He's going to get better. He'll eventually play midfield time. He can finish like the best of them. Like, he can genuinely finish everything around the ground. They have got themselves an absolute gem. And I'd love to talk about, I know we discussed it with Joey last time, he said, but they're like, no, we really rated him. We really did rate, but I'd love to know like what their actual scouting report was, or like where they had him on the board compared to all the, like whether they thought that he was actually going to drop that low. But he's a fucking star, Jeff.
And then just little, I heard Kingy's talking about how he's starting to look a bit tired. Like, it is a grind playing every game. But even just the way he just takes his chances, like 4 straight, every time he had the chance to kick a goal, he went back and slotted it. I tell you, he should be someone that's on Tassie's radar. Like, righto, if we can't get Sarong and Brayshaw, let's call Murphy Reid. Tell him he's going to be our starting midfielder round 1 for the next years. Like build into his ego a bit. He should be on Tassie's radar.
I'm actually surprised that first-year players have such good first years, because most of them have year 12, school footy, drafted, and then they start training. Then they start the early rookie, like straight out of school, which is like October. Like, they actually don't stop.
Yeah.
Like, they go the whole first year, and that's why if you do see a little bit of burnout from kids, it's so expected, especially if they're meant to come in and play like a massive role in the side straight away. So he's a gem. But this
you got
game
some odds for me?
Yeah, I do. This game was doggy. Murphy Reid for 4 was $41.
That's
Mitch
nice.
Georgiades for 3 was $2.90. Dudley for 2 was $5. My man. Switkowski for 2 was $6.50. Rioli for 2 was $2.10. Ollie Wines had 33, so for 30 was $2.60. Rory Atkins, Jeff, he had 25. He was paying $5, and then Rosie and Sarong were $1.25, $1.35 respectively. But I'm saying, like, Butters is gone.
Apparently, he's super close to Ken. Apparently, yeah. You've got mail that it's a lock to the Dogs, don't you?
Yeah, like it's a lock to the Dogs.
I love that mail.
Like, it's a lock. So that is the first part of the roast. Jev, you're going to go in today.
I haven't seen the Swans win on the G in a long time. In a long time. Yeah. So I'm going to the G today. I'm excited. It's Petrarca's 200th. It's going to be good to be there for that. I hope we win, but I don't love the side. Callum Mills is back. Let's go, Dust. That is the first half of the roast. Oh, we're back. Second half of the Sunday roast. I've just walked in the door, full Swans kit. I've got a tick chiseler in my hand that cashed, and I've just watched the Swans be absolutely dog-walked. They copped the belt, Das.
The absolute belt, Jevy. Awesome work on the chiseler. It's good to get a live sports win. It's awesome. You get there. The multi just felt right. We spoke about, and we just like, Chad 21, Heaney 21, Petrarca in his 200, 21. Tick, 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 tick. It's awesome. That was a great bet. The Swans, Jev, I don't know what the stats are. When's the last time they won at the MCG? I don't know whether you know that. But this D's team is white hot at the moment. They are playing well. And this is what we said at the start of the year. When you've got May, Lever, Gawn, Petrarca, Oliver, and the rest of the crew. But those names for about 5 years was like, this team is unbelievable. They should win 3 to 4 flags. They should be in a prelim every year. But as long as they're still on a list and you read those names, it's like they have to be somewhat good. The start of the year, they started slow. And Goodwin was on 360 every second week. And we're like, this is going to be an absolute shit show. They're going to get him on every second week, and they're just going to run through him with questions. And then you come into today, what is it, 4 or 5 on the trot? But
I think they've won
they're
6
playing
the last 7 or something.
Yeah, they're playing unbelievable football. That win last week against Brisbane up there to come back and win, you can tell what a win like that does and belief does. When there's chatter about, is Petrarca going to go? Is Oliver going to go down the road? Is Kosi going to leave? Is Gawn going to retire soon? Is May out the door? You've got Melksham picking up as a forward pocket. And then you come out and put a performance last week. This week's felt like a danger game. Felt like, fuck, if they can hit their straps again, they're going to run all over it. And it felt like these players that have been criticised so much are starting to step up, and then the smaller players are coming to go with it. I just want your take on, I want you to talk about Melbourne first instead of the Swans. I want you to give us your honest, what did it look like live? And is that one of the most, I know it's prisoner of the moment, but one of the most impressive performances from an individual where it's like, look how hot this man is. I can only think it must be like when Clay shot the lights out and he had like 40 points in a half. It's just like everything he touches is turning into a score involvement. It's going on the scoreboard and they can't touch him. It's just absolute gold. It was a pleasure to watch. Give me your opinion or just tell me what you reckon about the D's first.
So let's not get it twisted. So the final margin was 53 points. It should have been 120. They absolutely smashed us. They were missing goals. Should have been about 10 goals at halftime and another 10 goals. They pumped us. It was just old school Melbourne. The way they set up the ground and just owned territory and just turned us over, gave us nowhere to go, just trapped us in pockets, and then just kept having scoring shots. Didn't matter who it was, just all of them played well today. Every single one of their players played well. We made Fritsch look like Bailey Fritsch again. Stephen Bay looked good. Jake Lever was back in the side. How much they missed Lever. Just Daniel Turner's playing off halfback. He gave Will Hayward an absolute bath today. All of them. Melksham looked great. Clary had 30 again. I'll get to his odds for a minute and 30. I remember when Clary used to be $1.60 or $1.40 for 30 touches. Wait to hear he's back. Gawn set the tone early. He was great at the start. This was one of those ones. They'll put the tape on and they will not have one negative thing to say. This was like this is a coach's wet dream. Simon Goodwin might have a wet dream in bed tonight. They were perfect. The way they put pressure on the Swans, trying to chain out of the back half, the way they stopped it, where they had made long so the Swans couldn't bomb away. So they tried to get it out with a handball chain and they'd just bring guys forward, put the pressure on, turn us over. Oh, they just smashed us. And then Kosi Pickett, I wasn't even mad. It was a pleasure to be there live. He took the piss out of us, Dars. Everything he touched was gold. I think he hit the post twice. What did he kick? Was it 5-4?
Yeah.
He's kicked 5 goals, 4. I think he hit the post twice. He had a couple of dribblers that just missed. 24 touches. We couldn't go near him. We couldn't touch him. He was in the right spots. He was running free. He looks like he's built like a brick shit house. He's still short. He looks lean, muscly. He looks fast, explosive. You can't touch him, and his confidence is through the roof. It was a pleasure to watch us. He was just unbelievable. Now I want to get to the bit of the rose. First, I want to get to his man.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Riley Bice played on him. How the honeymoon period of Riley Bice has finished. He was horrendous today. So first of all, I'm pretty sure Kosi kicked 5. I don't know if they were all on Bice, but kicked 5 and had 24 on Bice. He didn't go to the midfield. Riley Bice is kicking out of the back line. He was missing targets by 10 meters. And he's the guy they put in his hands to kick and he bites off kicks and stuff. He was just biting them off all day and missing. And it just looked bad. You know when you're having a shocker, like James Sicily's been playing, where he's still biting off kicks and missing them by a fucking mile. Oh, It was a bad, bad day to be from Albury, old Riley Bice.
Oh, no.
And then, Heaney tried. What do you have? 23 and 3.
Yeah.
But he's obviously gotten beat. They've gotten beaten up around the midfield because Petrarca had a big day. Clary had a big day. Gawn had a big day. Gawn gave Grundy a fucking bath. Grundy was trying, but he gave him a fucking bath. It was more, what's happened to all Australian Blakey? Like, it was Ollie Florent. It was James Rover. I'm like, Heaney and Chad were still trying and having a crack. It's those guys that play off flanks for us. The last year were, B+ graders and now like C- graders. It's Florent, it's Rowbottom, it's Riley Bice, it's Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy John's all right, but Nick Blakey, where's he gone? Just all of them in the back half of the ground were so bad, so fucking bad. Because I look at the Ds and I go, all right, Kosi's getting the 3 votes, and then you could throw a blanket over the blokes getting the 2 and 1 votes. Like, so many guys played well.
Yeah.
So many guys probably had their best game of the season. They just all played well. It was the perfect team performance. I look at the Swans, I'm like, righto, Heaney tick. I thought Warner was fine. He had a crack. Few bad mistakes. Laddams was all right. And then it's sort of like, the rest of you. Angus Sheldrick was okay. But how much does it look like it stands out? Happens with Carlton. So we've got Caden Cleary, Corey Warner, Angus Sheldrick in the team. And I like blooding young guys until it's time to win a game. Yep. They just do not look like we can win a game with all of them in the side sort of thing. So, yeah, I don't even know what to say. They absolutely smashed us.
You bring in Papley, you bring in Goulden, you bring in a couple of other more experienced heads that have been there, and it's just sorry, I just bumped out for a second. It's amazing if you get like Goulden back, you get Papley back. Even just that igniter, like, you know what Papley brings? Imagine you watch Charlie Cameron yesterday, he kicks 3 in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Imagine Papley kicks 2 in 2 minutes. It's like, here we go, we're back. And then you finally get a clearance, or if you don't, and then you get an intercept mark, and then it comes out to Goulden, then Goulden can use the ball, and then you start to slice and dice again. But as I said, I think there'll be some big movements at the end of the year for the Swans. Like, you've got Adelaide next week, then you've got Richmond at the MCG again, then you've got a bye. So if you happen to go zip and 2 and then come into the bye, that's just a real sit down at the halfway point. You're like, all right, what are we going to get out for the rest of the year? Because probably like Carlton, probably like a few others on that underside, it's like, it's tough to make up these games. You don't want to be making up games at the back end of the year because every game becomes a final. And if a team like the Swans or the Blues, like I know Essendon, I know they're 2 games ahead, but if you're making up games, by the time you get to the finals, you're cooked. And you're not going to be beating after another 4-game final series, a Collingwood, a Brisbane, a Gold Coast. Like, it's too tough. A Geelong.
The question is about Errol. Will we see Papley again this year? Will we see Errol? Like, do we even play Errol? Like, obviously he's going to play, but he's not playing for anything. It's just to get run back in the legs. Like, play him 2 weeks, give him a week off,
treat
and
it
then
like
have him 100% fit for preseason. Don't know if we'll see Papley. Nah, it's grim. Dust, name some of the commentators, Fox Footy or 7, who are ex-key forwards. So we got Nick Rewalt did 7 today. Jace Dunstall, key forward. Jack Rewalt's a key forward. Who else? Jonathan Brown does it.
Look, Gary Lyon, he was a centre forward. Key forward.
Today's game was a key forwards nightmare. Aiden Johnson.
Yeah.
Harrison Petty.
Yeah.
Peter Laddams.
Yeah.
Hayden McLean and Joel Hamling.
Yeah.
It was the worst game of key forwards I've ever seen. Like, Peter Laddams was the best of the 5. He had the best game of the 5 of them. It was horrible. It just shows who kicked all the goals today. Just everyone for Melbourne kicked a goal and they brought it to ground, and Malcolm's a good, smart footballer. It was a key forward's nightmare. Like, Hamlin was trying on May, and he did a half okay job, but still, fucking hell. Like, you can't win a flag tagging a fullback. Stop tagging fullbacks.
It's like you have Sparrow that comes on and off. Like, I know he's a sub sometimes, but you got him that's got run now. You got Langdon that's obviously still there with the old head. You got Windsor. You've got Harvey Langford that can run. Lindsay that can run. Like, we've got a good young list now that even if Petrarca does want to move on or Oliver does, there's enough there to still say, hey, I still think we can attract a free agent or someone else if they do want to come to Melbourne, because the talent that they have coming through is good. Van Ruin, like what are you going to do with him? Matt Jefferson's still in the wings as well. Like if they want to give him another couple games. So I feel that they've got assets to trade out if they really want to.
Petrarca looks good. He looks happy. He looks fit again. He looks tough. He looks solid again. Looks like he's put his weight back on. I'm happy for him. He looks like he's happy. He just wants to win games, and he's winning games again. So he won't go anywhere, I reckon.
Nah, he definitely looks happy. Do you have any odds for it? Were there any good odds?
Has anyone ever got 12 coaches' votes and 4 Brownlow votes? Kosi for 5, $29. Probably should have been more. Melksham for 3 was $6.50. Heaney for 3 was $5.50.
Nice.
Fritsch for 2 was $1.75. Sparrow for 2 was $14.
Nice.
Harry Sharp for 2 came off as the sub, but he was $13. And Peter Laddams for 2 was $8. That's one to look out for. Like he plays as a key forward and then goes and chops down the ruck. So while Marty's out, if you're going to $8 for Laddams to kick 2, he had them both by quarter time.
Yeah.
Mills for 1 was $1.80. Clary for 1 was $3.50. Second week in a row, he's kicked 1. He's getting back on the scorers board.
Yeah.
30 and 1 for Clary. That's old school Clary. How's some of these odds? Christian Salem for 30 was $13. Nice. Clary for 30 was $6. Langdon for 30 was $12. Chad for 25 was $2. Sheldrick for 25 was $8. And Xavier Lindsay for 20 was $2.50. If anyone had a bite of that, probably his family. Oh, the Swans, they are in trouble. It's a tough time. I have a feeling, I was thinking about this on the train home. This is karma for my arrogance and last year, the Showtime Swans and the arrogance and the what's the word I'm looking for? You know, like
the brashness,
the over the top of the. I haven't seen the Swans win live once this year. I've seen them lose. They lost round 0 to the Hawks. Gather around to the Pies. The Bombers touched them up under the lid. Melbourne beat today. They beat North Melbourne at Etihad Stadium. Miles Haven. I wasn't there because I had an event on. So this is karma, I reckon. I'm copping the karma. So I'm the curse. If I go to the Swans Richmond game and they get us on the G in 2 weeks' time, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. I'm Taylor Swift.
Nice.
Anyway, let's go to the first game. The Crows handle business exactly how they should have beaten the Eagles. What do they won by? 11 goals, 66 points. Just gave them the belt. Did what they had to do. Looks like the Eagles had a crack till about, 10 minutes to go to halftime. I watched a bit on the train. Didn't see a heap of the game. Didn't see a heap of the second half. So talk to me.
Yeah, there was Adelaide really should have given them the belt more. There was some horrendous kicking in this game. Like the crowd was getting very agitated. They'd move the ball. Balls inside 50 were just over people's head. Rankin missed Fogarty about 3 or 4 times. Mind you, Fogarty got Sandy Brocked. Yeah. Fogarty got absolutely Sandy Brocked. And we had Fogarty in a million multis. And we usually call on a Friday, a Sunday morning. We're like, all right, let's put some bets on. We start to sharp up a touch. We go through. Keys is kicking 1. Yes, good leg. That's in. Rankin's going to get it. He's going to get 20 perfect. We're like, Thilthorpe will kick 2. Of course he will. And then we're like, Fogarty. We're like, he's averaging like 3.5 a game at home. It's against West Coast, against Sandy Brock. We've seen Sandy Brock. He had 9 kicked on him against Hogan, 5 the next week against Curnow. We're like, he's at home. He's going to do it. And they just couldn't get the ball to him. Like, it was just like, it's one of those games, you watch a game of footy and you enjoy it. But when you've got a multi on, you're invested on the players. As you said earlier in the show, you're watching Mackay and you're like, what's he doing? You're watching Fogarty every entry and you just hope the ball goes to him. You're like, where is the fog?
You see them get a handball chain going in the mid. So you look up and you're like, right, who's the forward leader here? Is it Thilthorpe? Is it Fogg? You're like, kick it to Fogg. Yeah. And they just couldn't get it to him.
Nah, they could not. So a lot of people lost a lot of money on that. Again, it's not his fault. It's our fault. It's Sandy Brock's fault. Blame Sandy Brock.
He was awesome.
We did say, I wish we could recorded the voice, the phone call. It's actually probably good we don't record the voice messages sometimes, but it's like, Jesus, it feels like a game that Rochelle could kick 3 or 4.
Yes.
Like, it just feels like he's at home, like a showboating player. And we're like, we should probably take it. So I'm interested to see what he pays for 5, but they got it done in the end. Professional win. Dawson kicked 1. Like, all of our individual goal kicks.
Dawson kicked 2 in the end.
Yeah, all our individual goal kicks that we wanted, like, stepped up. Tom Cole, our man was slicing and dicing for a while, Jev. Tommy Cole, the Mexican Dom Sheed, who'd you say, the microwave
Dion Prestia.
Yeah, the microwave Dion Prestia with the mustache. He was slicing and dicing. He had 17 touches today, Jev. He was awesome, Tommy Cole.
Good on
I think
him.
he could be my favourite 28 in the comp.
Fair.
There's him, Neil Bullen, Cam McKenzie. I don't know who
I
else is
hate
number.
Cam McKenzie.
I don't remember who else is 28, but 28 Tom Cole. I thought he was pretty good. Luke Pedler back in the side. He used to be a staple for us. He kicked 2 goals. I just don't really know where Adelaide are. Like, it's a good win, but because they've been in so many of these big close games. So I just want to see him thump a few more sides or just do it to a few good sides. But they're definitely a top 8 side for mine. It was just a business win.
When a crappy team comes to town, you just got to handle business, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
Like, it's all you judge them off. So they come to the SCG next week. So then we judge them. Go and beat a beaten up Swan side. Like, go to Sydney. Swans are on their knees. Go give them the belt. They should beat us by 35 points next week.
Well, the way
they're small ground, our defense is a schmozzle. They should get us.
Well, the way the backline's playing, they rebound really well. Say that your midfield talent beats theirs, that's fine. But then their forward line, especially if Tex comes back, like, you should think they should have a nightmare with your bigs. And then if Rankin goes there, then if Pedler's putting on pressure, then Ben Keys
100%.
puts on pressure. And then probably just even allow Dawson to go sit back if he has to and just be the general there. And, like, he'll know what players to agitate. Michael Annie, Wayne Miller, like, all these guys, Mitch Hinges, like, they're all good ball users when they want to be. And when they play their style of footy, it really works. So I think that they're just really building well. And also led, we thought at the start of the year he might be pissed off that he's probably going to get pushed back out of this midfield, but they had to do it. They were too vanilla. It was the same thing over and over. And he's actually doing really well as a defender. Like, he comes in, chops off, but then just uses the ball really well. So, as you said, handle business. I'm not sure how much we can really bash West Coast. We bash them every week. They're just, they're just no good. Also, Flying Rock needs to kick more goals. I can't remember a forward that we think so good, but doesn't kick any goals. He kicked 4 points today. Like, he just doesn't convert.
Yeah.
Does not convert. Do you have any odds?
Yeah, I got some odds for you. I got some odds. There was good money to be made. So Rochelle was only $21 for 5. Feels a bit short, doesn't it?
It does short. If you had him in a Kosi though.
Mudflap 3 was $3.50. Dawson for 2 was $6.50. That felt like a layup. Yep. Riley Thilthorpe for 2 was $1.20. $1.20 for 2. James Peatling for 2 was $14. Luke Pedler for 2 was $4.50. And Oscar Allen, who's a key forward for 2, was $2.50. Nice. And then there wasn't many touches. Dawson was $1.50 for 25. Rory Laird for 25 was $1.85. Our man Josh Worrell was $8 for 25. And Berry, which Berry is it?
Sam
Berry was $8.50 for 25 as well. So that's about all for the touches. West Coast don't win enough ball, do they? No. They just don't win the ball.
But they don't have the ball users. When they get it, they just turn it over.
They are lacking a lot of players. A lot of players.
They're like 4 years off.
Oh, yeah. They need to nail like 4 drafts and get some guys.
Think of 4 years off.
Till like 4 years off till you win a final. Like, they would kill for Essendon's talent. They would absolutely kill for Essendon's talent.
Imagine you could trade a full list.
So Essendon move west and West Coast come to the Bombers. Who would the Bombers and Borders go for?
All the players just move. No, so all the players, so they just become West Coast Eagles players, and like Waterman's now a Bomber. We're
going loopy on a Sunday night. Final game. This gives me satisfaction. I got the sun scarf here.
Nice, same.
They have had demons at Marvel Stadium. Sunday, 4:40, Marvel Stadium for an interstate team is a trap, I tell you. It's a goddamn booty trap. Yep. And the Suns went in there and handled business on their back of their fucking captain who had 35 touches, Noah Anderson, who's a goddamn stud. They just handled business. They got it done. It's a massive win, especially the Saints coming off a loss to West Coast last week, flew back. They love upsetting a team under the lid. They got it done. Come on.
It was a very ugly... Jeff, there was one of those games, and I was actually going to try and make a video. The last time I was at a game like this was when Gary Ablett had 25 and 3, I think, at halftime. Clinton Jones was playing on him and just dominated for the Suns. But you looked at the crowd, you're like, there's fucking no one there. And that's all right because it's 4:40 on a Sunday, Gold Coast, and it's freezing outside. But bit of an arm wrestle. Close is a gun. You've got a lot of these guys that are starting to come on. but they just couldn't put them away. And then the Saints finally started to claw back a little bit. And as you said, this is one of those games where the Suns would just be, they don't care how they won. They finally got it done. You know who would have been an absolute multi-killer, Jev?
Who?
Ben King was minus fantasy points coming into the last quarter.
I saw he kicked 2 in the last quarter.
He didn't have a touch in the first half. He had 1 touch in the third quarter. He had 3 touches in the last. He kicked 2 goals, 1.
We got to start talking about Cal Wilkie, man. He is in a rare air of form. He's a gun.
He's just in. No, you know who is a gun? Nas.
Oh, he's a superstar.
Someone's going to pull the tape out on the weekend. 1 goal, 36 touches. I was watching with Dad. I was like, watch this bloke. Because Dad doesn't watch many St Kilda games because he's smart. And I said, watch this guy. Watch him get 1-2s. He was getting chased. He went back into D50, had a look, took a bounce running backwards just so he can get enough pace and then burn him forward the other way. Kept going 1s and 2s. He's legit a Rolls Royce.
He's a horse. He's winged. The way he runs looks like a horse.
I can't think of a more important signature out of almost all the free agents to look at. The Saints won't be able to find another player like this. I know they need a lot of things, like maybe another couple star midfielders, but there's not many of these guys in the league.
Yeah.
And if he gets another 4 years playing midfield, mid-forward, his tape in that time is going to be unbelievable.
He's just a huge meters gain player,
He's
isn't
a
he?
horse. He's an absolute horse.
80 meters every time he gets the ball. He runs 20, kicks at 60. He's just a gun. They say he's the hardest player to tackle in the league. I don't know if it's because he's like that slim, but got the powerful hips, and he just gets the knees up, and when he's moving, shifty, he's a gun. He's such a gun.
Our man Jack Higgins couldn't hit the scoreboard, had a few opportunities, but it was due a stinker.
He's been up. He's been
6
up.
touches. He's a good.
Who's that? Who plays on the small forwards for Gold Coast? He played on Wiz last week.
Will Powell.
Jeez, I love that he just isolates himself on these guns.
He's
and
a
he'll
good
be
player,
in the 50 by himself.
Yeah.
And he gets it done. Or even like him against Nick Watson. Like Nick Watson had one of the best first half. And then he won the game for him in the last quarter. Like he didn't quit, didn't lose confidence, got it done. The Suns, what did Ross Lyon call them before the game? They're Nepo babies. The AFL's Nepo babies.
Nah, I didn't hear that. Is that what he said?
Sarah Jones was interviewing him. He's like, geez, they got some talent out there. The AFL's taking care of him, haven't they? Yeah, they're the AFL's Nepo babies. Like, he'll get a fine for that.
He doesn't miss.
They've got some talent out there. Raul Anderson, Took is in all-Australian form. He's a fucking gun.
Who were we talking about the other day? You're like someone taking a backward step. And we're saying that Took, how he's sort of taken his role out of the midfield more and gone half forward. And I was thinking of someone throughout the week who should do the same. It'll come to me. But there's someone I can't.
Cripps or Walsh?
Nah, they're not as half forwardish. But yeah, he's been fucking awesome. And he's massive.
Yeah.
He's a tank.
He's a brick. Him and George Hewitt would nail an F45 class.
I just can't, imagine how loved he would be if he got drafted to a Victorian side.
Yes. He'd be if he played for fucking Melbourne or something, or like Hawthorn, he would be a 250 game, all-time favourite professional player. 100%.
Legend. Do you have any odds in this one?
Yeah, do you have any roast for the Saints? How will the Saints supporters take this one?
Fuck. I just think this was a genuine. I didn't think that they were we thought that they might be able to jump him, but they didn't. Kamenides, when he went from Carlton to St Kilda, they're Silvani saw the tape on him. And Wiedering said one day apparently he gave a few players a bath. So then they got him in as a forward. They're playing him as a defender.
He's playing as a defender.
He's playing like Greek yogurt. Yeah. He's just getting beaten off Greek yogurt. He's just getting you run around him. So they're just the Saints. The Saints. I can't even roast.
Do you want to see Max King this year?
Nah, he's going to be the biggest what ifs.
What the fuck? Where is he? Is he on the same program as? Is it him and Darcy Parish on the same program?
Seriously, I don't remember. And the hype wasn't as big as anyone knew, Harley Reid. But the hype of him coming out was like
Winks.
Jesus.
He's a horse. They were so pumped to get him in this building.
Like, I don't remember a player like it. Like, he was more than Boyd, more than Tom Boyd. Who else? What other key forwards have we had? Shaki was more than him.
Yeah.
Francis more than him. Charlie was more than him.
Because he did the ACL in his draft year, and they're like, nah, this bloke's him. He's coming off an ACL, but you have to take him. I remember he played a little bit of VFL, and they just anyway, got some odds here for you. So Cooper Sharman for 3 was $8. Ben Long for 3 was $3.20.
Nice.
Ainsworth, Morgs' man, for 2 was $5. Mitch Owens for 2 was $2.80. Nass for 1 was $2.55. Sinclair for 1 was $3.25. Joel Jeffrey for 1 was $5. There's 3 halfback flankers. That's Morgs' favourite market on earth, bet on halfback flankers. Nick Blakey kicked 1 today as well. There's another halfback flanker.
Goddamn. We need
Noah Anderson for 35 was $5.50. Nass for 35 was $5.50. Jack Steele for 30 was $8.50, and Took for 30 was $4. Yep. Joel Jeffrey for 25 was $11. So you got 55-1 for Joel Jeffrey's game today. And then Mitch Owens for 25 was $34. Was anyone on earth on Mitch Owens for $25?
We said he might kick a couple. We didn't think 25.
Yeah, 25 and 2, 34 for 25 and 280 for 2. So his game was like 70-1.
Crazy.
Or like 80-1.
Good on you, Mitchie.
So that is the Sunday roast. Are we doing Guess the Lines or is it another pod?
If you want to hang around, we got Guess the Lines for next week coming up. All right, now you've gotten through the roast. Now we're into the fun stuff. So we're actually going to preview the games for next week. So round 12. So we do have a few teams that are having a bye, Jeb. So we are doing Guess the Lines. So for those that don't know how it works, I've written down first. So we don't ever look what the odds are for the next game, or we don't look what the spread is. I write it down. We read the games out to Jev. We have a guess, and we see who can get closest to the margin, judging off what has happened this season in footy. So, Jev, let's kick it off. So we got Thursday night, Brisbane versus Essendon. So this is up on the Gabba. What do you think the spread is?
3 goals, 18.5 points. Brisbane minus 18.5 points.
I said Brisbane minus 32.5 over the Bombers, and it is Brisbane minus 35.5.
Wow, because of the key injuries. Yeah. That feels like too much. I'm leaning the Bombers side for that.
I don't know.
You think the Lions just handle them?
At the Gabatoir, I just think after they lost against Melbourne, they've lost too many key players. Brisbane go up there. I just think that this could be one of those ones. Like, they got dismantled by the Dogs. Yeah. And when I think about talent and where it's played, as long as it's good weather, I would I think they could easily win by 6 goals.
Yeah, I like this. We're on different sides. I'll take the Bombers and the points. You take the Lions and the points, 35.5.
Like that,
you get that one as well.
That might be in Dope Thursday. Yeah, so 1-0. So next one, Friday night. This will have 93,000.
I've been looking forward to this game for months.
Weeks. Yeah, 100%. The next 4 Hawthorn games I'm looking forward to. They've got big opponents. It's awesome as a mutual. So Collingwood Hawthorn Friday night. Who do you think?
The Pies. So, do you reckon I just want to talk about this game for 2 secs. Do you reckon the Pies supporters have forgotten how Jack Ginnivan treated them last year and how the Hawks pulled their pants down and absolutely pants them and then carried on like pork chops? Would they beat them by 10 goals or something? Like, they smashed them. I know for a fact the Pies wouldn't have forgotten about that, and they'll have something in store. Will the Pies have their players back? I don't know where all the players are. I'm going to say the Pies are favourite, not by much. I'm going to go 4.5 point stars.
I win the Pies minus 8.5, and it's Pies minus 5.5. So you get that one. So it's close, just under a goal. I thought it'd be just over a goal the way the Pies are playing if they are getting some players back. But this has, like, I don't even know where you lean. Like, I would lean probably points on either side because you could see it coming down to a kick.
Nah, see, I tell you what I think. If I'm betting on this, I'm taking either team to win by over 25 points. I think if the Hawks get them, they get them again by just being too quick, too fast. They sprint straight at them and they win by 40 points. Or if the Pies get them, they do what the Lions did to the Hawks yesterday and just smash them. And so they win by 40 points. I'm telling you, I'm making money. I'm betting over 25 plus on each team.
See, I love that because I would bet both teams to win by under 25.
25. So there you go. We just agree on that. I reckon just either team's going to pump the other one. I don't know. I have no idea who's going to pump who.
I hope it's just an all-time an all-time
classic.
a Friday night. Like the
That
Geelong
prelim final where Bud kicked the goal, then Luke Ball kicked the goal. That was a banger.
That is-
This will be a banger.
Awesome. So it's 1-1 here, Jeb. Next game, so we got Suns and the Dockers. So first game on Saturday. This is up on the Gold Coast.
Ooh, the Suns will be favourites. I'm going to go 10.5 points.
I went Suns minus 11.5. It is Suns minus 15.5. So I get that.
There you go. You get that one. Yeah, well done. That feels like a lot. It is hard. They are good up there, but they've just played Sunday night. Now they're playing the early game Saturday, where Dockers have played last night. It is a long flight for the Dockers. It'll be hot at that time of day. I think the Dockers travel like Guinness. I'll take the Suns and the points.
Yeah, I think I'll take the Suns. I'll swallow those points as
I'd really just take the Suns head to head. But yeah, I'll take the Suns. If I got to take points, I'll take the Suns.
Next one, you got the Giants and Richmond. So the Giants finally got a good win, a really good win. I just remember when the Tigers went to Port Adelaide earlier in the year, I think round 2, they got absolutely smashed.
They didn't travel well.
No,
Sam Layla was going to be out with a hammy.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm going to say the Giants. I'm going to go it's going to be bang on 40, like 41.5.
41.5?
Yeah.
I went minus 40.5 and it's minus 43.5, you dog. I was hoping you were going to split that. So
I was going to say 40.5. I'm like, no, they never do 40.5. It's always 42.5. I thought, there you go. Oh, I think the Giants are the right side. Like you basically just saying like, yeah, the Giants beat the Tigers by 40 points and it's 3 extra points on top of that. I'd take the Giants.
I think they're going to be too quick, and whether they get another, like a Kelly back or like.
What time is it? I need to know if Noah Bolts is playing. No, he can't. He can't travel unless he's home.
That's so
unless he's
funny.
home by 10 o'clock.
That's so funny. Did you see on the outs it says Noah Bolter out for personal reasons?
Yeah.
Like, just say that he's
Curfew. Right, curfew next to it.
Yeah, curfew. That's funny. All right, so it's 2-2. We got 3 games to go. Swans and Adelaide. So this is at the SCG.
So the Crows have to be favourites. And I think it's by 2 goals. I reckon it's 12.5 points. Crows minus 12.5, which I find unbelievable.
I said the Adelaide minus 10.5. It's Adelaide minus 1.5.
Wow.
So $1.90, they're getting close to pick 'em. If you take your Swans hat out and you're like, you know what, we haven't been that good at home. We both like how Adelaide's playing this year. To get $1.90 for practically a head-to-head, that feels like an early great market, doesn't it?
It feels like a layup. The Swans are done. The Crows will be that happy Joel Amarty's not playing to kick 9 on them again. No, I'm not going to lie. I can see the Swans winning. It's at home. They've had a bad week this week. Like they usually they play well against Adelaide. They usually beat Adelaide. They could rock up and beat them. But, yeah.
This is the one that Adelaide have to win.
Adelaide have to win. I'd take that 1.5 points for sure. Like
So
that's
right.
the better side of betting.
So next one,
Sharps might say you get points in the Swans at home. Just take the Swans anyway.
I get that. What did you say they were?
I said 11.5.
Just at 10.5, so I win that.
Even that.
2 to go. Melbourne and St Kilda. So this is at the MCG.
Whoa. Watching the Ds today, I'm going to say the Ds, and I'm going to say first number that came to my head was 8.5. But I think it's going to be, I'm going to go 12.5. 2 goals, 12.5.
I did minus 15.5. You would have been bang on. It was 8.5.
8.5. So it was first number, and then I added a bit from just what I saw today. So I get that one. Yeah, D's on the G. What I saw today was awesome.
I've seen them both play pretty much most games this year. And what they did today in the last few weeks, 8.5 seems short.
Like a layup.
And I know Ross Lyon can coach his ass off, but this is the MCG as well.
To be fair, there's no one for Cal Wilkie to give a bath to. Like, who's Cal Wilkie going to stop?
Yeah,
Aiden Johnson?
He's not going to know what to do.
Stop him.
Yeah. That almost seems great. Get one of those players and just push him out. Spread him out.
It actually suits where Melbourne are good and St Kilda are good. It suits Melbourne. I like the 8.5 points, Das.
All right, so it's 3-3. So we're coming in the last.
It's just the last game.
Yeah, West Coast Geelong at West Coast.
I'm going to say, I don't know what, all right, 46.5 points.
46.5.
Geelong minus 46.5.
Yeah, I did the Cats minus 29.5, and it's Geelong minus 38.5.
So I get that.
Yeah, you win.
I've stolen my... Why'd you only go 29.5?
I don't know. I just thought that, sometimes I feel
Because you can't... I reckon they're going to leave a heap of players at home, but the bookies don't know. The line will move.
I just swear that Geelong always go over there, leaving so many players at home, and they just get it done by 30 points.
I'm on your side, but the bookies don't allow that.
Yeah, I just...
So I'm taking the West Coast points for sure. I like the West Coast points because I think Jez Cameron might sit at home and all this stuff. But I knew the line would be closer to 46 than it would be to 29.
I just thought I thought that they just might be like, you know what, we'll stretch it. And then
I've absolutely backdoor pinched one off you.
Yeah, you pinched one. But the main ones that we're going to be looking at, like Adelaide -1 early. We think the Giants will probably get it done 50, so minus 40. What's
your favourite plus points of the week? Who gets points that you love? You're going to take the points.
Oh, Jesus. Probably West Coast. I know that they had a crack against the Bombers at home. Who else did they beat at home? Who did they beat?
No, the St Kilda last week.
Yeah, and then they played someone else really close. I just think that they're going to play at home a little bit better, and the supporters know that. And I just think 38.5, Geelong could easily do it, but it just feels like that if they're firing on all cylinders, West Coast, it's like keep it within 40, boys. So probably those two. You?
I can't remember. I liked one of the points.
Hawthorn? No. Fremantle? Essendon, 35.5.
Yeah, I like the Essendon points.
Seems like a lot, but I think the lines might be
especially prime time. Usually it's not as many. Actually, the last couple of weeks have been so many points. So I don't know. I like the Bombers plus 35.5 for sure.
I want the favourites to absolutely smack them.
Favourites roll. That is get the lines.
Guess the lines. Chev wins. Enjoy your week.
See you 100K on Tuesday. Come on.
See you. Come on.
What are you prepared to lose today? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.